name's Claudine, and my mom has Parkinson's. And I was just gonna do the video for my mom today because she wants a little break, and I had a sort of funny story that happened the other day. I'm sure she shared with you about me getting a new phone, um, and how it was quite a fiasco down at the mall because the staff seemed to be fighting amongst themselves, and somebody was training, and it did take a very long time, and I felt horrible because Mom wanted to come for an outing to the mall, and I said, well, we'll be home long before 6 for your next meds. So I didn't have any meds with me, and then this whole thing took forever. So Mom was all frozen up, and I felt really bad because I needed to just finish it at that point in time. But one of the reasons that I needed a new phone, there was a couple things going wrong with my old phone. One of them was the touch screen wasn't working like up at the top or at the bottom. So I could only touch buttons that were in the middle of my screen. So the search bar is always at the top of the screen, or the X to X out of things is always at the top of the screen. So I was having a hard time like even typing an address into my MapQuest app or whatever. So I need a new screen for that, or a new phone, because my screen wasn't working. But also for the last couple of months, my screen also at the very top, there's a bar that shows you your Wi-Fi connection and the time, and how much battery you have left normally, right? But that for the last couple of months on my phone, like on my old phone, was really blurry. Like it was almost like there was transposed numbers. Like I couldn't tell what time it was because you couldn't read it clearly, and I couldn't tell how much battery I had left because you couldn't read it clearly. So I had to go back down to Rogers and have them sort out a few other things that were missed on this crazy outing with trying to just do a simple upgrade on my phone. And I went down to clear those things up, and I said to him, hey, while I'm here, like when the lady transferred my data from my old phone over to my new phone, she transferred this problem with my screen, like not showing what time it is. You know what I mean? Like look, it's all blurry, right? And so he looked at my phone, and he looks back at me, and he smiled, and I said, what? And he goes, is the background on your phone, is it like the picture here, is it a screenshot? He said to me. I said, well, maybe, because I crop and like pull it out or whatever, and it could be a screenshot. And he goes, well, the screenshot, you need to crop it a little bit different because the screenshot is actually, it has the top of your screen in it. So the picture I used for my background had its own whatever time it was when I did that screenshot, and whatever battery I had when I did that screenshot, overlapping with my own time. So as soon as I changed my background picture, that went away, and I could easily read the time and the battery percentage and whatnot. So that was pretty funny. I felt like, oh man, like how did I not figure that out? Like how did I actually go in and ask them about that? But then it reminded me of this one other time. I literally took my car to the mechanic because it was making this knocking sound, and I was really trying to discern like where the knocking sound was coming from, because it didn't matter if I was going forwards or backwards or turning left or right, like it would be there, this knocking sound. So I took my car to the mechanic, made an appointment, went in, and as I'm driving into the bay, he's standing, coming, waving forward, and he says to me, as soon as I get out, he goes, I think I can tell what your problem is. I said, well, what's my problem? How can you tell just by looking at it? And you know, the plug up here in Canada, when it gets cold in the winter, we have a block heater in our car, and there's just a little plug that hangs out through your front bumper. And that plug had come a little bit down low, had come out a little bit, so there was a bit of a cord, and it was knocking against the inside of my wheel well. So it was just a long cord that was wrong that time, you know. So I felt like, oh my God, like my screenshot had the time and date on it, and that's why it was blurring my real time and date. Oh man, sometimes I feel like lots of stuff is blurry up here, you know, trying to keep it all together, keep everything straight. uh, Lots of appointments coming up. It's Mom's birthday coming up this week, and so we're going to do something special there for her. um, the following week, she has a couple of uncomfortable appointments. They want to do a spinal tap on her and also a bone marrow biopsy. And just completely randomly, those were scheduled by two different doctors at two different hospitals to look for two different things, but they are booked a day apart. So I feel really bad on the 8th and the 9th for Mom to be doing these tests, you know. But we will get some answers that way. And she's doing really well, actually. She's put on a few pounds since we've been at home, and I'm feeding her and eating, like making sure that she's got lots of snacks. She says, every time you walk by me, you're offering me food. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually full right now. But she's having a hard time actually physically eating right now. So we've tried a few different things like spoons and forks with bigger handles. And also we got this happy mat is what it's actually called. I think it's for kids, but it's got sort of a frog face on it, but it's a whole mat, like a flat mat, and it's silicone with like a raised up dish in it, sort of a bottom dish and then two circles. That's why it looks like a frog face, but it's silicones and it sticks right down to the table. So then the bowl can't be moving around. Because Mom tends to throw, not purposely, but it's like sort of like a food fight all the time, except for nobody ever throws any back at her, which is sort of good, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of food throwing. So one of the little treats I got myself recently was my new Dyson. And I just absolutely love my new Dyson. It's like 6 pounds, a cordless handheld vacuum, and I can just clean up all that food that's been thrown throughout the day, at least any of it that the crumbs haven't been cleaned up by the dog. She's a pretty good helper as far as like spilt food goes, getting those crumbs off the ground. Tomorrow's Halloween. Well, today, I guess, when this is posted. So happy Halloween, everybody. I'm not much of a Halloween lover myself, you know. Not gonna lie, before I moved in with Mom and Dad, I lived in a basement suite, and that was basically the only day of the year that my front porch light was turned out, and I just sort of hid downstairs in the basement with the lights out. But this year we're in a really nice neighborhood, and I think it's the type of neighborhood that it's actually the neighborhood where my brother went trick-or-treating when he was younger. So it's sort of come full circle. It's nice to be trick-or-treating in Southview again. So I'm looking forward to seeing Finn. He's going to be a cat. I can't wait. You say, what does a cat say? He says, meow. He just loves it. You say, what does a dog say? And he goes, he's panting like a dog. I can't wait to see him in his little costume. We've got a few little treats for him and whatnot, but I'm thinking I better get like a bowl of candy to actually hand out to the kids, you know, that are coming by. So I think it'll be cute to see all the little costumes and whatnot. You know, it's something I can appreciate a little better now that I'm older, you know. So looking forward to that Halloween. And as most of you know, we lost my grandfather this last week, which has been very difficult for us. And just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, we lost my grandfather, and he's just a wonderful man, and it's a big loss for our family. We do know that he's in a much better place now, and with Grandma again, so that's good. And there's no more suffering, so we are happy about that, but still a little sad for our own selfish reasons, I guess, you know. My uncles out in British Columbia, they actually they had received Grandpa's ashes back, and they took him yesterday and they sprinkled him out into the wind and into the Fraser River and out into the ocean. So it was a really beautiful thing that they did, and we got a picture of the place that they did it, which is a really beautiful spot. And so we just are glad that that is sort of hopefully wrapping up now. And everybody's can be at peace, you know. Gary is coming out. I'm really looking forward to that. Mom is too. Oh man, is she ever looking forward to seeing her brother. It's too bad we can't see Grant ever. Well, we could, you know. Actually, he has come here before for Cal's wedding. That was the last time I saw him out here anyway, Grant and Kathy. But anyway, we're looking forward to Gary coming. We got actually a little twin bed, sort of a fold-up bed. I've never really seen anything like that before, but it folds up just flat in half, but it's got wheels on the bottom, and then basically we can get like a barbecue cover type deal to put over it and like zip it up. They have them that are like good canvas bags that are made right for it, so we can store it in the garage when we're not using it, but it will be nice. So if we do have anybody come by, like when Gary comes out, mid-November-ish. I think we're hoping to see him. Or if my dad's sister Pat ever gets out to see us, that would be nice to see Auntie Pat, and nice to have a spare bed, you know. So anyway, that's about wraps it up. I don't really have much else to say, so I hope everybody has a great, happy Halloween. Trick or treat safely, and if you're driving, go slow on the neighborhood roads, looking for the little ones. Anyway, thank you very much for liking and subscribing, and my mom will see you all tomorrow.